There are always mysteries that we come across in our lives that leaves us baffled with questions. Some might have an explanation and others might be considered supernatural, but either way, these mysteries leave a mark in our mind. As we grow older and revisit those unexplained occurrences, surprisingly we found that most of the mysteries lean more towards fictional stories than actual events. Today we'll take a look behind the curtain of 3 mysteries we picked out for you where fact and fiction are the same thing. The Bermuda Triangle is an approximately triangular area in the Atlantic Ocean, bordered roughly by Bermuda, Puerto Rico and Miami. It has been one of the biggest mysteries in recent decades. From missing ships to planes suddenly disappearing mid-flight, it seems like for years people believed that the supernatural was the cause of all the disappearances that this secluded area saw. But recently, an Australian scientist has claimed to have solved the mystery of the place once and for all. Karl Kruszelnicki, a fellow at Sydney University, believes paranormal occurrences aren't the reason behind the mysterious disappearances of planes and boats at the Bermuda Triangle. His theory is that the incidents were likely the outcome of bad weather and human error. The Australian scientist believes that since the Bermuda Triangle is a busy patch of the sea, disappearances aren't very unusual there. He further explained that the mysterious triangle is very close to the equator and also near America, a very wealthy part of the world, which causes a lot of traffic in the area. Karl claims that the number that go missing in the Bermuda Triangle is the same as anywhere in the world on a percentage basis. The scientist also wanted to address which was the reason why the mystery surrounding Bermuda Triangle started growing in the first place. This was a flight of 5 planes that took off from Florida on 5th of December 1945 with 14 crew members on the board. While carrying out a routine training mission, the US TPM Avenger lost contact with all of the planes. After that, another plane that was dispatched to look for Flight 19 disappeared. No wreckage was ever found and all 6 planes disappeared without a trace. Karl states that the vanishing of Flight 19 was likely due to big waves in the ocean, while also adding a human error that might have been fatal. The only experienced pilot during the mission was Lieutenant Charles Taylor. These huge waves can form unexpectedly and rise 2 or even 3 times above surrounding waves. Years ago, British researchers used lab and computer models to simulate the effects of big waves more than 100 feet tall on ships as part of an investigation into the Bermuda Triangle. Ships that were really long could get caught suspended between 2 wave peaks with nothing supporting them from below and snap in half. But while waves are certainly capable of capsizing and breaking a ship or stopping a plane flying close to a sea level, it is still inconclusive what has caused all the disappearances in the area. Although we do not believe the Bermuda Triangle is a supernatural phenomenon, it seems this mystery will remain unsolved until proven otherwise. Recently, one of the biggest droughts the state of Nevada has ever seen caused Lake Mead, the largest artificial reservoir formed on the Colorado River between Nevada and Arizona, to reveal its most grim secrets to the world. The continuous drought has plagued the lake for 15 years now and is causing millions of people that rely on its waters to take drastic changes to their lifestyle. And while the water levels drop increasingly, Lake Mead's biggest secret was also revealed. A few dead bodies were discovered. CNN reported that the remains were first found in a barrel. The Las Vegas Police Department believe it was a homicide as a result of gunshot wound. They also added that the clothes and shoes found on the skeleton remains suggest that the person died somewhere between the 70s and the 80s. Remains of another dead body were discovered by Lindsay and Lynette Melvin on an exposed sandbar, but the cause of death has yet to be determined. But the Las Vegas Police Department officials have found no evidence of foul play. The shocking discoveries turned the heads of many people, Americans or not, to the lake that once may have been the dumping ground of organized crime. The criminal element of Las Vegas has always intrigued tourists to visit the infamous city and romanticize how the mob may have dealt with things back then. But is it just nostalgia of the era that makes amateur detectives dive headfirst into the mystery of the lake? Michael Green, a historian who grew up in Las Vegas, noted that the mafia often preferred to carry out execution-style killings away from the city to try and shield the gambling industry from bad publicity. Now that the shocking discoveries were made public, the more important issue of the increasing drought affecting millions of lives throughout the area is getting the much-needed attention. Although the situation may not look good right now, hopefully the water increases over time and all the other untold stories that Lake Mead hides will be unraveled as well. The next story we are going to present occurred in a small city located in Spain called Belmez, where nothing out of the ordinary really happens. It is a quiet town situated between the Andalusian mountains, where town folks work hard to keep their community alive. In 1971, on a sunny August day, Maria Pereira, the lady in the Pereira household, was going about her day when she suddenly noticed something quite disturbing. Deformed faces began appearing out of nowhere on the kitchen floor. Scared, Maria called out for her husband, Miguel, and they immediately began praying for the faces to disappear, but to no avail. Later that day, the Pereira family tried destroying the unexplained images while re-cementing the floor. Unfortunately, that did not help as the faces began appearing on the newly laid concrete. The unexplained events quickly became the talk of the town, and the creepy story even reached the mayor, who ordered to leave the faces untouched. Instead, the floor concrete was cut out and taken for study. Many believe that the faces were the cause of supernatural doing, while skeptics leaned towards forgery. Scientific studies carried out on a Belmez face were performed by the Institute of Ceramics and Glass with samples from two of the faces in September 1990. The result of the samples was that no traces of paint were found at any place, although it is not mentioned which faces were analyzed, nor which part of the faces correspond to each of the samples, nor what kind of analysis was performed. Skeptical researchers have performed extensive tests on the faces as well and believe that fakery has been involved, and the images have been applied with lead paint, which at the time was the most commonly used pigment in making the primary colors. Although all analysis done on the faces is inconclusive, many experts stick to the theory that the ghostly faces is hoax created for financial gain. Is it possible the Pereira family is somehow behind the unexplained happenings, or were they simply victims of pareidolia? Upon doing a quick research, pareidolia can cause people to interpret random images or patterns of light and shadow as faces. A study in Finland found that people who strongly believe in the supernatural are more likely to see faces in lifeless objects and landscapes. On the other hand, this theory does not explain the movement and drastic changes the faces have gone through during the years. Can a middle ground be found for this mystery where all skeptics and believers can agree on? Is the famous House of the Faces really haunted, or can this unexplained occurrence be explained using logic and scientific evidence? The answers to these questions are yet to be provided. The mystery of the Bermuda Triangle will remain one of those mysteries that will be talked about for generations to come. Perhaps in the future we will have an answer for the strange disasters thousands of pilots and ship captains have experienced there. But for now we can only settle on the fact that the ocean has its secrets. Whether the scary stories that were told by the owners throughout the years were true or not, Belmez will always be remembered as the small town in Spain with the House of the Ghostly Faces. As for Lake Mead, the potential tragedy of having millions without running water in the homes is far more scary than any unsolved mystery the lake might offer. Even though we hope that someday we will have an explanation for all the dead bodies that were found there, for now all we wish is for the droughts to stop. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe for more unsolved mysteries.